Hey guys, welcome back. We are in our first game for the lower bracket, and earlier we saw Iris Gaming unfortunately did not have the best game. They did drop a set to V Gaming, who are now in the finals, so they are in position. If they win a best of 3 later on in the day, they will be the representatives of Vietnam for FSL. But for now, I am Hungry Cass, and alongside me is Rira Chu. We will be bringing you the first game of the lower bracket right now.
Yep, and it is going to be between FENIX over on the blue side and in a bit of a shocking turn of events, I want to say.
Oh
EVOS
yeah.
Valkyrie over on the red side for the scheme. I mean, if you've been watching any sort of Southeast Asian League of Legends or I think some other titles as well. I mean,
Yeah.
EVOS is such a huge
EVOS has
brand.
a massive brand in
Mm-hmm.
Indonesia as well as Vietnam.
Mm-hmm. Yep, and I mean traditionally their teams do really well. I think EVOS Valkyrie as well played in the very first season of
Hmm.
the FSL Elite
Yes.
for League of Legends. Had the direct invite
Mm.
that season as well. So it's a bit of a shocker, I think, that they've dropped to the lower bracket for this time.
Along the same lines, there's some parity when you consider that um, Iris Gaming also did drop to the lower bracket, so there's some unfortunate
They're in good
irony,
company.
right? Yeah,
They're in good
unfortunate irony.
company. Some good teams in the lower bracket.
Maybe they're just, sandbagging, so lower bracket easier to get to the
Sandbagging.
finals.
But
We never
talking
know.
about lower bracket, of course, since this is the third round of the
Hmm.
lower bracket, it does mean that there are only 4 teams left. We started
Yep.
the day off with 6. So unfortunately for teams Overpower as well as F-Girl, they will be leaving the competition
Hmm.
for this season of the FSL Elite.
Right now, though, you see the draft come in. Interesting pickup of the Graves here in the jungle. I believe it should be the jungle Graves, considering you have Misfortune and Zyra, which are probably the two most obnoxious
Mm-hmm.
bot laners when combined because of the range as well as the poke coming through. I think Leona's gonna have a bad day here. Like she's probably gonna get poked up
Yep.
before she can all in. So
Mm-hmm.
pair that up with the Orianna for the wombo combo. All you really need now is a top laner that layers it all together. Maybe a Rumble.
There are actually so many champions, so many AD carries
Hmm.
left open potentially in this game. Aphelios is open if Foxy wants to go for that. Oh, is going to go for a very more traditional pickup with the Ashe and Leona bottom lane. So I think the Ashe is definitely in response to seeing the MF
Oh yeah.
Zyra over on the other side. I think a lot of other traditional AD carries that would work well with Leona do very badly against the MF and Zyra combination. So they've gone for a bit more utility with
Hmm.
her E, the hawk shot, as well as the
Maokai.
sustained poke from the W. I think Ashe as well
Huh.
does benefit from the Essence Reaver.
Not a champion we've seen all too much, but Maokai locked in as the final pickup here. In the past, a very resilient and reliable tank in the top lane, providing tools of counter engage through his ultimate. But right now, fallen out of favor quite a lot because the
Mm-hmm.
value of Maokai has been diminished quite a lot in the top side against champions like Camille, who can go for early
Whew.
executioners, reduce all the healing, go for Tiamat and split push you to death. You don't really have the wave clear. That is essential to deal with these kind of top lane champions as Maokai.
Yeah, so EVOS Valkyrie have tunneled in on a mobility composition
Hmm.
with the Camille, with the Graves, as well, and maybe a bit
It's
of.
very team fight leaning as well.
Mm-hmm.
Because you do have Camille to deliver the ball in
Yep.
for Oriana, and I was saying, well, they could go for Rumble. Camille works as well because you want to isolate a single target in this way. It's gonna be Ashe. Moment you pop the Hextech ultimatum onto Ashe, no way she's getting out. It's very simple for the rest of the team to lay on the big ticket ultimates, as it were: Bullet Time, Strangle Thorns, Command Shockwave, and as
Mm-hmm.
well as collateral damage.
Yep. And the thing for the Phoenix composition is that they do have a lot of very good team fighting CC tools, so they can start fights very well. They have the Maokai, they've got the Leona. Usually, some teams who pick a Syndra don't even really have some sort of front
Yeah,
engage.
yeah.
But for this team, Syndra is going to be
Mhm.
very comfortable with that secondary
Yeah.
engage. Even got the Ashe R if they need that to start the fight. But my only worry for Team Phoenix is, as you mentioned, whether EVOS Valkyrie are going to be able to play pop the carry and just get in on either the Syndra or the Ashe. Because without Syndra and Ashe
Mhm.
for the squad of Phoenix, they've got absolutely no damage.
To talk a little bit more about Ashe, I think she's come back into favor with the advent of not only lethality items but also Essence Reaver, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
Yep.
in the past, you would always build Essence Reaver on Ashe just because the crit helps you do more damage with your passive, and you always want the mana back.
Mm-hmm.
But in this case, I've seen a couple of players pick up Ashe as a lethality Arcane Comet Ashe. And all
Yep.
you do is just poke people, right?
Yep.
You reply poke with poke. You get a lot of lethality. I think your volley goes down to like a 5-second cooldown with enough CDR, and it becomes very frustrating to deal with because the opponents can't really choose to fight you whenever you poke them out. So.
Yeah, before the Essence Reaver rework, there was a small period, I think 1 or 2 patches, where I was playing Ashe with Comet with Triforce, and it was just busted. Absolutely busted.
In fact, I think Arcane Comet is probably one of the best keystones you can go for on Ashe. The second being, unfortunately, the Lethal Tempo. Most people don't really like to pick that up because it kind of gates the windows of power that you have. So personally, I do like Arcane Comet a lot more because not only does it give you more reliable damage from range, it also gives you a safer lane when it comes to the threats you bring to the table.
Yep, and talking about bringing things to the table for both these teams is definitely going to be the most exciting, decisive match that they will be playing this entire season because the winner of this best of one is going to have to play the next game versus Iris Gaming, whereas the loser of this game, even though we are in the double elimination, will be out of the competition for this whole season.
To reiterate, basically every match from here on out is an elimination match, right? And it was kind of disappointing the previous Vietnamese qualifiers because EVOS got knocked out really early on by Box Gaming, which is now Iris Gaming. And if the same thing happens, it's just going to be history repeating itself, and it's going to hurt. It's definitely going to have to sting for EVOS Valkyrie. You know, you were invited the first time.
Exactly.
Make it through.
And especially like, losing to the current reigning champions of FSL Elite, not once but twice in a row. That's definitely got to sting. But I mean, before they even get to that point, EVOS Valkyrie are going to want to make this game count. They're going to want to win this game versus FENIX before they can even challenge Iris Gaming.
This game looks like they have pulled out all the stops. This is a very easy to execute composition as long as the shot callers are on point. So who you pay your attention to right now? You want to put all eyes onto Camille, all eyes onto Misfortune. Right, because these are the two targets that will be making the calls. Camille diving in, everyone has to follow up. The moment she goes in alone, it's game over, right? And everyone else has to understand we are putting our attention onto Camille when she's going in on the fights, and we have to focus on Misfortune as well, because if she is taken out early, a lot of the damage will be removed from the bullet time as well as the autos and Qs.
Yep, they're going to have to try and help the MF position well around the fights, and kind of the main utility on their team to try and make that happen is going to be Oriana. So we're going to have to really keep our eyes on Caroline as well as Kamiho to see how that one play out. Of course, Zara does have some sort of extra utility with where her plant spawn and when she lays down the W and then the E. But a lot of the onus, I think, is going to be on Kamiho herself and how well she positions around the fights. As you mentioned, the bullet time going to be absolutely crucial. And I just took a look at Zyra's ID, and you know, we are into 2020. I think there's a period of time where I would look at a 1998 birth year and think, wow, this kid is
like
young,
right?
But now maybe we're just old.
98 means that
she's 22.
22 this
22
year, right?
this year, yeah.
Holy.
Or she just turned 21 if it's like, you know, November.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Right?
Yeah, wow.
Now, like,
weird,
kids born
Old
in
enough to vote.
2002 are going to be 18 this year. That's absolutely ridiculous.
Basically, anyone born in 98 can vote, right, this year.
Basically, the two of us are boomers. I think that's what we're getting at on the cast. That's what we're getting at. We're pretty much boomers.
Don't say that. No. You might be a boomer. I certainly am not.
Excuse me?
So I am
what happened to solidarity on this casting desk? Hello?
Solidarity is with, how do I put this kindly? Within age gaps of less than X, right? I'm not going to review how much.
Oh my god.
Or more than X.
Yeah, you're obviously the older one here. Duh.
Okay,
boomer.
It appears that we did have a bit of a connection issue on our end, so we will be reconnecting right now.
Wow, seeing that Ashe and Leona skin side by side, they're pretty much the same person.
We gotta pull this up. Wow, yeah, these skins are using it like, ironically or unironically dope.
It's like that meme where they're like, "Hey, can I copy your homework?" Yeah, sure,
just
but
don't make it too
change a bit, but don't make it too obvious. That's that meme. We're on fire with the memes
Oh yeah,
today.
today memeing non-stop.
Yeah, new year,
Um,
not new us apparently.
Dude, I
Same
meme all
old
the time on
us.
stream. Remember the Marvel? Or memeing all the time
Oh
as
my
well.
god, yeah, that was fun. I think
Um,
it's just what happens when you cast with gamerism for too long.
Fun.
Oh, EVOS taking a page out of the
The
Iris Girls
spams.
book. Yeah,
Big
all the
spam.
dangerous spams.
Like, get out, get out. I want to highlight that Lee Sin did bring Dark Harvest to the table, so that kind of hurts her dueling ability. Normally, you do want to take Conqueror because you proc that very quickly. The full combo of QQEE auto pretty much gives you Conqueror stacks already, so it's a bit of an issue coming in. I would have liked to have seen her take the more dueling related keystone, whereas it's going to be press the attack here for the Graves. Traditionally we see a fleet footwork, but this time it's press the attack. So hoping to get into these extended duels is Sin on EVOS Valkyries. And lastly, no Arcane Comment, so if used bad, it's going to be Lethal Tempo here for Foxy. Otherwise, everything else more or less what you would expect coming in from the various champions.
Yeah, I'm a bit disappointed as you are that the Ashe doesn't have the Arcane Comet. Arcane Comet is kind of one of those keystones that, especially early on, helps you keep up against Misfortune's E or her Q, because the Ashe W and Misfortune's E at the early levels have pretty much about the same long cooldown
Yeah.
in terms of poke.
Oh, Cheese Gang coming in, but the Sonic Wave not hitting means that nothing is really going to happen there. Instead, we'll be using the safeguard to jump forward and the red buff ticking down, but Coraline not really too concerned. We'll be walking away. This Orianna is completely fine.
Yeah, doesn't have a heal this game. Instead gone for the cleanse, of course, all the CC that we were talking about on the side of FENIX, the Syndra stun, Ashe R, as well as Maokai. So it's gonna mean that she is going to be a bit more susceptible to those ganks over the mid side for the 2v1.
Going in, Zenith Blade landing on the backline though. Actually a lot of damage, having to pop the heal early as Kamiho, but they're turning it across, having to use the heal as well. Oh my goodness, Kamiho now flashing for the damage. She might be able to get another one. Foxy now turning this around. The volley might not be enough. Auto is gonna finish her off. A bit of a wasted flash from Foxy. Remember that you cannot flash projectiles once they have locked onto you. Hate to see that.
That was so close too. That was just one auto away from getting the kill onto Kamiho. But because of that, however, it does mean that EVOS right now have a huge lead in the early game. 3-minute mark, 1.4 thousand gold up of FENIX, and plus that bottom side was the side that got both of those kills. That's absolutely huge.
I'm not sure if you caught this, but the moment Zenith Blade went off, the Zyra was like, okay, it's time to put the plants up. And the return damage was more than enough to make them regret their decision.
Yep. Yeah, that Zyra, man, she hurts.
Oh. Meanwhile, Gang coming in the mid lane. Lee Sin now
gank.
just on the flank. No mana though for Coraline. Trying to get some sort of return damage done, but the Sonic Wave now not connecting either. It is the second time that this Lee Sin has failed to make the gank happen.
Yeah, but Hera playing so aggressively, absolutely knowing the limits of her champion, knows that Orianna doesn't have Ignite this game, so can't afford to play that aggressively. Plus, she also has the very defensive barrier in this game as well. So it looked like they were trying to bait Coraline to go for the all-in, but Coraline backed off after that one. Are we going with Coraline or Coraline?
Coraline because of the movie. I don't know if you've seen it.
Because of the girl, yeah.
Oh, engage onto the Zyra. Sonic Wave not landing again, but the damage from Foxy gives them the kill. Now they're chasing onto Kamiho, who has to run away. Strut is not available. I think she's committed to turning around and trying her best to fight, but it's going to be a double for Foxy. Sin arriving a little too late. Will not be able to rescue her bot laner in time, so that is going to be an equalization in terms of kills in the bot half.
Yep, in terms of kills and almost in terms of gold as well. As right now, FENIX are only down about 200 gold down from EVOS. They've caught up the 1,000 gold difference. That was just 2 minutes earlier. So really good on them, especially making that happen over towards the bottom side. So right now, bottom side, Ashe is 35 CS up off of MF's at 21.
Getting the BF sword is a big thing though, because this just means that volleys are going to hurt that much more. And Camille can't really afford to trade now with the Confused Warhammer. She isn't going the Dorian's Blade stack route, which I'd expect most MF players to take. So signals to me that Camille, for the most part, isn't too familiar with playing this new style of Misfortune.
Yeah, and also going for the Warhammer part of the lethality build first instead.
You always go
is
for
a
Essence
bit
Reverb, man. Come on. Just get the BF sword next time. Maybe just a bit shy of gold.
Oh, the interrupted recall, and then she got the level up off of that too, just still
Cha-ching!
in a range of the creeps dying. That's efficiency right there. That's efficiency at its finest.
Neither of these top laners have really backed off just yet, but Liho does have the clear advantage here when it comes to trading out. We saw multiple times with the hook shot as well as the passive, giving her that magic shield. Sin here looking to sneak away the Inferno Drake. Inferno Dragon still gives AP and AD, it's just that the amount that it gives isn't as high anymore.
Yeah, I mean, let's be real. Past Infernal was a
Like,
bit broken.
Look at the amount of AD that Graves has right now. It's 90, 80, and 0, right? Only got 480 off of that. It's not a lot.
Man, what a waste of time.
Really a lot of effort invested into nothing, so it does accumulate, I'll give you that. It does allow like the cloud to spawn earlier, so if you're in an advantage to sneak it away.
Yeah, definitely a lot of advantages to be had. Also, that level 4, very ballsy move from the side of EVOS as well as Graves.
Haven't really seen all too much action coming through from the jungler of EVOS Valkyries just yet, whereas Lee Sin on the other side has been trying to make things happen, albeit unsuccessfully sometimes. Have you seen that movie Coraline, by the way?
I've seen some of it, but I couldn't finish it because it was so scary.
It was
The
quite-
part where
yeah.
she has the buttons for the eyes.
But the thing was, there is an Oriana skin where she's like a soul
Yeah, the
doll,
soul,
right?
yeah.
So I was like, that would be perfect if you went for the skin to complement your name, but
No.
sad, disappointing.
No, we would lose viewers.
Kids would be like, turn away now,
Yeah.
don't watch, too scary.
Yeah.
Landing the stun there, having the cleanse actually pretty early in advance, meanwhile
Yeah.
Sin. Sin off
So
in the
waiting
wings.
in the wings, but Caroline is so low on mana. Went for the fairy charm as well.
Oof.
Oh! Oh, not quite getting it with the buckshot.
Got denied by the turret, had
Yeah.
it followed through to the full range.
Does pop, does cause Syndra to pop the barrier though, so all is not lost. Is a longer cooldown after all. Oof, but it is going to be. I think Sin flashed as well for
Yeah.
that one.
Net trade is a 2 for 2 in terms of summoner spells, because Caroline did use the cleanse earlier as well. So this is still pretty neutral when it comes to it, but flash down means that Sin must regank this lane, like no matter what. Within the next 2 minutes, you have to be back in the mid lane forcing something.
Yeah, but it's going to be a bit of a tricky timing as well. Caroline no longer has her cleanse. Too, and the thing is when you gank champions such as Syndra, pretty much even if you are 2v1ing her, her CC is likely going to be just the same. So it's going to be as effective on however many people that you bring to mid lane to try and kill her. So that's one of the disadvantages for the regank later. But right now, EVOS with some pretty good map rotations right here, calling Lyho down to help out Sin to pick up this pretty early Shelly. Not even at the 10-minute mark just yet. Will be good if they do go for the return gank onto Syndra. If they get the kill and pop Shelly, that's going to likely mean the first blood mid-tier 1.
And the reason why they could do that is because Lihio did go for an early Tiamat, and we talked about how Maokai kind of isn't the best at clearing waves early on. So you get extreme lane priority early on, and this allows you to transition into the jungle, transition into things like the Rift Herald, meanwhile fight breaking out in the top side. Hookshot into the back line though, Hextech ultimatum used, but a bit too early as she gets caught out here. Shockwave catching 2 members. I'm not sure if they have enough damage for this fight. Collateral damage though is not used in time, and that's going to be 2 members falling on the side of EVOS Valkyrie, and meanwhile the fight breaking out in the bot lane once more. Zyra dying, going in, MF, not enough damage I believe, and they will lose 4 members, 5 members all across the map, and an ace at 10 minutes.
Oh, that's gotta hurt. Kamiho, we've caught the last part of the skirmish over in bot side, and you could see it in her eyes. She thirsted for it. The Q, she was trying to get the double kill with the double up, but didn't manage to get that one off. I felt for, as a like one trick MF, I felt for her so hard. Oh man.
The game has officially gone towards side of FENIX right now. They are very much ahead.
You said 2 words and my brain just went. My brain just thought belly up.
Well, it's not like fully belly up. Like, they're turning over close. EVOS Valkyrie is almost fully belly up.
It's like the cow that you're like trying to tip over.
over.
Yeah, but then it's a bit too heavy, so you call your friends over.
Might need another guy for it to go full belly up.
I had a fun college experience.
Oh yeah, I remember it.
At tipping cows.
Most people
to
like
tip
train,
cows.
go to fret parties. You're like, let's tip over this cow.
Guys! Oh my god! Come on, how often do you see cows in Singapore?
True.
Right.
Yeah.
Alright, a lot of pings going
yeah, a
down
lot of
towards the
pings,
bot
actually.
side. Sin is heading towards the bottom lane. They are pretty pushed in though. I'm not sure. There is of course the counter rotation from Syndra as well as Orianna. It's gonna be a party down here in bot soon.
They want to pop the Rift Herald,
Orianna
but at
getting
the same
found
time, they want to force
out.
this fight.
Yeah, using that MFE is pretty much signaling that you're on the disengage.
So left flare onto the support and the arrow. Great stopwatch though to buy some space, and now they're taking this 4v4 fight. But more than enough damage on the other side. Great double, triple kill coming from Kamiho, the bullet time. Meanwhile, Foxy trying to get some value out of this one, but I don't think it's enough as Sin will get the kill. So that's 4 kills picked up, and classic mistake right there, ignoring the misfortune and bullet time. You're gonna pay for that one, guys.
That was the dream misfortune bullet time that Kamiho could have had. Like, I'm gonna just say it, I'm not sure I'm gonna see a better bullet time the rest of this tournament. That was so nice.
That in itself, right? You could see that is.
That's-
if I had to clip,
That's
why
going
MF
to Twitch.
is busted.
Yeah,
like that.
that's going to. If you were a streamer, like, and you made that play, be like, "Yep, that's going straight to YouTube,
Twitch.
straight to YouTube."
Thinks Dragon is going to be a cloud. Oh, interesting. Buffering the Zenith late, but not in time. So once again, you know, it was almost belly up, and now they flip back over. These cows are not so easy to tip.
Guys, don't forget to like and subscribe. That's what you say after you make that play.
Great bullet time from Kamiho allows or buys some space for EVOS Valkyrie to come back into the game. Essence Reaver finally completed for the Misfortune. Meanwhile, on the other side, it's going to be Infinity Edge for the Ashe. Hextech, Flash coming through. Trying to land a stun. It's going to be the Shield of Daybreak, but no Son of Flame just yet. Oh, the fancy feet coming in from Coraline and the Solar Flare as well. It's everything in the kitchen sink to kill Coraline.
That was overkill. I think Ignite was as well. Yeah. That was unnecessary at that point.
You could hear them shouting, "Why won't you die?" as they're like chasing her down.
Well, they got her in the end.
they
That's
did.
what matters. That's what matters. Although, surprisingly, with that kill, actually, EVOS is still ahead in terms of gold, despite what the kill score looks like.
And that's largely because of first turret, I believe. They managed to get... Oh,
Also, mostly due to the
Ooh,
MF gold
great.
lead, but oh wow, nice roundhouse kick straight to the face of Camille. Is trying to make it out right here. Maokai ultimate, not really the fastest thing on the planet. Camille should be able to, get the hook onto the wall out of there, and
this is why you don't play Maokai. That was a kick W. Like,
yep,
Lisa made the perfect play, and then
yep,
Maokai was like,
and then
I'm
Maokai
helping.
was
You know,
like,
walking
yeah,
forward. Oh.
yeah, that was the meme. Yep,
Oh, man.
bro, I'm helping.
Yeah, I'm coming. I'm almost there, man. I'm almost there.
Bro, I got this. Bro, I got you, fam.
Enchanted Crystal Arrow onto the Graves. A lot of damage onto the jungle already, and the Shockwave completely whiffing. This is going to be a big problem as the heal has been expanded by Foxy to keep her support alive. It's a Mortal Kombat, and she gets the kill. And they have found another one, getting a reverse kill, or rather a return kill here. And the Sonic Wave will finally connect onto the backline. It's going to be a 3-for-1 trade here, coming in favor of FENIX. And back and forth has been this game. And on both sides, I'm pretty happy that at least it's a bloodthirsty one.
Yeah, definitely a very exciting game that we're seeing 19 kills at the 15-minute mark. Both of the teams, I mean, we're saying definitely a lot to play for both of them. I think you can kind of see, you can kind of sense just from watching this game that I think the amount of pressure that both these teams are under to really win this one. They know that it's an elimination game, and if they lose this, they're out of the entire season of FSL Elite for the circuit.
Super brutal, especially because they are the first region to compete. It's gonna mark a very unauspicious start to 2020 for them.
Yeah, of course. And I mean, like, talking about Vietnam in esports, Vietnam is definitely one of those powerhouse countries within our region in Southeast Asia. I think in the early seasons especially, and even like for the last seasons as well, since it was Box Gaming that are the reigning champions of FSL Elite. I think back from the first season of FSL Elite as well, we were all expecting Vietnam to put on a show, and they've definitely been putting up a good showing. But right now, MF,
gorgeous play
that
coming
was
in.
Nice.
Oh man, this Lee Sin is just making up for it. This game, Enchanted Crystal into the back line once more, and they're looking for another kill. It's very simple for them to pick up Sin here inside the jungle, and another one, and now having to back off is this Lee Sin. Coming alive now at 16 minutes, making all the plays for her team is the jungler of FENIX, and now they've finally broken open the mid-tier 1.
I mean, Vietnamese Lee Sin.
Need
I say more?
That was a work of art, not gonna lie. Roundhouse kick into a Scare of the Week. This chef's kiss, like perfect.
I had flashbacks to like, don't fight Boba Marines in the jungle, don't fight BKT in the jungle. Lee Sins from our region are pretty much class acts all the way.
SOFM.
Yep.
The OG legend.
The OG legend. Still playing in China, I think. Yeah.
Dragon coming up next. It's going to be the priority for EVOS Valkyrie here. It's going to be the Wind Drake, or the Cloud Drake, rather. And this is actually pretty important because remember we were talking about how the composition relies on pressing R. Guess what? Cloud Drake gives you additional cooldown reduction on your R. So if they can guarantee this, it's going to be really good for them. But no, stolen away by Foxy.
What?
EVOS Valkyrie is not catching a break today.
That was the ultimate Chad move. She didn't even use hook shot. She just straight up one shot, one kill with that W. What?
No smite available for Sin though, so I can't really fault her for that one. But it's a bit unfortunate. The team could have coordinated their efforts better to secure the dragon, but now they will pay for it. Because all dragons so far have gone to FENIX, I believe. Next dragon is going to be Cloud. Soul. Push coming in, Enchanted Crystal onto the Graves. The damage is a bit split though on the backline. Shockwave is only going to catch the Syndra. Dragon's Rage being used to disengage, and everyone on the side of EVOS is extremely low. Now the fight is going to continue here as Lee Sin is going to fall next after Camille. Running away is Maokai, doesn't want to stick around. 3 members still alive on the side of FENIX, whereas 4 members are alive on the side of EVOS Valkyrie.
Yeah, difficult for FENIX, I think, especially after Syndra went down. They were saying that EVOS Valkyrie actually expended 2 ultimates for that. Not gonna have enough room to get a down the last one. But after EVOS Valkyrie got the kill into Syndra, it's actually really pretty hard for FENIX to then try and dive the tower without the Syndra. They don't quite have that sort of like follow up available. I mean, Maokai ultimate is going to be pretty slow if you want to roll that down into a mid-side tier 2 tower. And for the Ashe Arrow, you kind of really need to combo it with a Leona ultimate under the tower for that to be really effective. So without the Syndra, I think at that point they should really have backed off. We saw a bit of disconnect. I think Lee Sin wanted to go back in, whereas the rest of the team were already backing off. So
not just
bit of a miscom.
That, but at the start of the fight, you could see Enchanted Crystal was onto Graves, but no one really followed up. There's not enough damage to burst down the jungler, and that is an instance of a team that isn't really on the same page, like you mentioned. Disconnect is the word.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it's really the team's fault or really just, Lee syndrome. You've got 4 members who are on the same page, and then you've got Lee who's like,
hit the Q. Must press Q again.
Oompa, oompa. Yep. I hear that like every time I see a Lee landing his resonating strike.
A lot of damage down to the Orianna, having to flash away. Shockwave on the top side. The Miwa on the jungle here. Fight breaking out, jungler versus jungler, but Leona is going to make this an unfair fight. Two very crucial skirmishes breaking out on separate sides of the map, but I believe it's going to be EVOS Valkyrie that comes out ahead on the top side. Stopwatch?
Dive the Syndra though, but not quite enough burst
Execute?
to be able to pick that
Hello?
one up.
EVOS Valkyrie, what's going on?
What? And the rest of the team just diving
Yo.
over in mid lane. Yo, bro.
They tried to get the kill of the Hextech Ultimatum, but the stopwatch was perfect to keep herself alive, and with that, Coraline got executed under the turret.
Yeah, really just being a distraction for the 4v4. And now Laiho caught in a bad spot right as 4 members of FENIX are going for the disengage. Once again, Maokai are not gonna be the best use of that ultimate that we've seen, but 4 members from Team FENIX gonna meet up with their mid laner, pick up these top side tier 1 finally at the 21-minute mark, and here are the rest of EVOS looking to defend their top side tier 2. FENIX don't quite have the wave, they're gonna be content with picking up the Krugs and then back it off. Bullet time?
I understand the value of that. So she thought that everyone was recalling inside. They popped the trinket and they saw multiple members, so she's like, well, if I use bullet time here, it might be a valuable way to deny the recall.
Yeah. Plus, I mean, they're going to recall and they're going to set up for the next fight anyway, so you don't really lose that much in terms of cooldown for that. Oh, walking over the blue scrying trinket right there. EVOS going to get some vision around the river, setting up for the Nyx Cloud Dragon, but here come the rest of FENIX.
Oh, dodging away from everything, Enchanted Crystal Arrow is gonna land on the Zyra. This is an extremely dead plant lady, popping the Strangle Thorns before flashing away. Now the next target gonna get kicked in is Coraline, the Shockwave, not even connecting it. EVOS Valkyrie fleeing the scene, not wanting to stick around. Great play coming through from FENIX to set that fight up.
FENIX bursted EVOS so fast.
Enchanted Crystal Arrow, great insect. Man, these guys are firing on all cylinders.
I mean, the Vietnamese, man, they don't play around in terms of mechanics.
Like, historically, that's what they've been known for, actually. Even though, you know, you think back in the past, the GPL, when Vietnam was a region in, they were playing at like 160 ping. And they were still making like these sick out plays.
Yep.
Now that, you know, they're playing on the same server, everyone's at a low ping. You start to see the value of these mechanics coming in.
Now everyone else is like, yeah, you know what? They are mechanically skilled. Like, better than us.
It used to be a meme and now we're the meme, right?
Yeah.
It feels so different.
Now our skills are the meme.
Is this gonna be Dragon Soul? Apparently, not, sorry. So there's gonna be one more, I believe. Maybe the first dragon was taken away by EVOS Valkyrie. Could have been the first mountain or the subsequent ocean dragon. With that being said, oh no, the first dragon was the Inferno snuck away by Sin. So there's still gonna be one more before Cloud Soul is achieved. I'm terribly afraid if FENIX opts to try the Baron, because the EVOS Valkyrie composition kind of shreds them inside the Baron pit, don't you think?
Yeah, pretty much. You just don't contest in Dragon or Baron Pit versus an Orianna. And this time they've got Orianna with MF.
With Zyra.
With Zyra. And if all else fails, there's Camille.
I would stay outside of the pit. I wouldn't even go close.
Yeah, I would be like, after you. You first. What was that? Scripture, walking through the valley of the shadow of the deaf. Yeah, that would be Dragon Pit, Baron Pit this game.
There's not a lot of vision around this jungle right now, so you can see why EVOS Valkyrie is a bit apprehensive to approach, but a game of chicken is being played in the bot lane as well. You can see Leo is just pushing up, trying to siege down on the inner structures. Bait being set up right now.
They're on a ward though, so EVOS know that FENIX are just wasting some time. They're going to be able to steal the red buff over from EVOS, so that is a win. Leona's still clearing out some very good vision.
The problem here is you sent Maokai to deal with Camille, who is completely fine just sticking around the bot lane, but because she doesn't have the teleport, she feels obliged to walk up to the top half of the jungle or top half of the map to at least lend some assistance. Baron already being started up right now. Not sure if they have any sort of information on
This
this.
is
Lee Sin
risky.
very low. Might have to be careful. Remember, this is a no defensive item Lee Sin here around the pit. Enchanted Crystal Arrow gonna whiff completely, not finding any targets, and this should signal to FENIX to back the hack off and not stick around for anymore.
Oh, it looks like they're gonna try to collapse into Camille, but she's gonna be able to make it out of that one with those long robotic legs. The grasshopper legs.
Grasshopper legs.
She has that really tilting walk. Back when, I think even her entire first year of release when she was pretty much busted. And then she has that like saunter as she kills you and walks off and you just get really tilted. Is it just me that
like
gets tilted?
Her legs cross.
Yeah.
Right?
She's doing that like catwalk thing.
But also they are knives. So it kind of like,
Yep.
I can see why.
I mean, like, after she's killed you for like the 4th time. Yep.
I wonder how much of her character was inspired by that lady in Kingsman. You know, the one with the knife legs as
yeah,
well.
the blades.
Yeah.
Are we back to the bro, can I copy your homework? Sure, but don't make it too obvious meme. Are we back?
Just change her
Have we
hair.
come full circle?
Made her a bit electronic, you know, cybernetic. I guess. Then yeah, I guess they can't sue us right now, can they?
Oh no, don't get me fired. It's a new year. I still need this job hungry.
Pushing into the jungle now once more. They're trying to set up the bait, and I think this is starting to become a bit reminiscent, or at least repetitive of what they were doing before. Baron being started up, but there's not enough defensive stats on the Lee Sin, nor is there enough offensive stats
Collapse
from the Ashe.
from EVOS.
And remember that we said that this pit is a horrendous place to fight in if you are FENIX, because of the amount of tight spaces and corridors. You are exposed to EVOS Valkyrie.
Yeah. Oh.
Shockwave catching the AD carry, a lot of CC down, but the last solar flare not enough though. Flashing forward once more, actually a lot of things being committed right in here. Trying to let the insect kick back, but it will not find it, knocking her back into the Stranglethorns. Now can they turn this fight around? They traded 1-for-1. Lee Sin for AD carry. Now teleporting in is going to be the Maokai, who is disrupted apparently. So is the Camille. So they trade AD carry for jungler.
Yeah, but so many ultimates. FENIX used 4 ultimates actually they set up with the Ashe arrow, but right now gonna catch out the Camille. But are you catching up Camille, or has Camille caught up with you? But nope, it's Camille. She's going down. She's 1v4. I had flashbacks of Camille from on her release, but thank God she's not busted anymore. 1v4. Laiho does go down for that miss position. Kind of like miscommunication, I think.
Must have been.
Yeah, because she clearly went for the engagement, whereas the rest of the team was backing off. But right now, Leona gonna land the slow down onto Zara, forcing her to flash out of that one. But it looks like Team FENIX have control of the Dragon Pit for now.
Problem here is the Mountain Dragon. The moment that, not Mountain, excuse me, the Cloud Dragon, because the moment is taken by FENIX. Oh, great insect into the team, but there's really no one waiting right there. Maokai is going to try and land a root. Kiting away from this fight though, EVOS Valkyrie have found some space for themselves. They're just buying time because no one has really finished off the dragon just yet. Coraline will have Shockwave up right now, and they could take this fight in the choke. They will find the Syndra, and they will lose the Orianna in response. Bullet time coming through means that they will find another kill. Can they get the Maokai though is the question. They're jumping back in once more. Lihyo looking to make the plays for her team. Leading the charge right now. Leona using the Solar Flare to find the Grave. Zenith Blade on the back, but it's not enough. They're looking to clean this one up. EVOS Valkyrie turn the tides of battle. It's only Foxy that's left alive, and they will deny the Cloud Soul coming through from FENIX.
One thing I really want to commend EVOS Valkyrie on is just how they're playing this composition, but in particular, I think in picks and bans, you were talking about how we need to watch how Coraline sets up for MF, and she's pretty much been doing that this entire game. We've seen Coraline land the R, and then there's almost always that very good instant follow with Kamiho's bullet time, and they've just been able to pair that so well this entire game.
Whoever Leo decides to out, it's like a death sentence because of the bullet time coming through. So you're right, you know. As long as they are on the same page about that, there should be no issue. And they more or less just have to wait for Solar Flare to finish, as well as the Scare of the Week, because those are the only two reasonable things from range that can cancel the bullet time.
Yeah, those are the big CDs that they need to worry about.
Everything else can be blocked or evaded if you position properly. Meanwhile, the only objective left on the map right now is going to be the Baron.
Yeah, really even game, like 30 minutes in, and EVOS is only up about 2,000 gold. It's pretty negligible at this point. We're pretty even all across the board.
Oh man, I'm so upset that she didn't get Executioners. Because all the damage that she's dealing isn't going to stick from the regen coming through. Maokai is just going to heal up. Please base him by Executioners. Oh, great shockwave though. The bullet time might just be enough here in this fight. There's Enchanted Crystal Arrow sailing past, but they will be able to trade 1-for-1. It's this jungler for the mid laner. I think I'd gladly take that any day. You know, here Liho still putting the pressure down on top of the Maokai. There's nothing much that this tree can really do to dissuade the aggression coming through. Waiting on the wings, jumping in. Zenith Blade not landing though. This is going to be an issue. They've committed. Can they get out? Should be no problem as they retreat off this fight.
Yeah, both teams just really posturing around the mid lane right now. Kind of want to make something happen, but don't really want to be the first ones to go in. We've seen that go wrong so many times repeatedly this game. And now FENIX looking to try and keep their mid-side tier 1 up for a bit longer. Do have very good wave clear with the Ashe, with the Hurricane, as well as her Q-empowered A. So it's going to make short work of the wave, and it's one of the reasons why the mid-side tier 1 is actually held up for this long, is just due to the excellent wave clear on the side of Team FENIX.
Not just the Ashe, but the Syndra as well. So it's kind of obnoxious to wave clear into either of those two because the threat of a forced engage is very high. You walk up, you try to siege. It's either Enchanted Crystal Arrow or Scare of the Weak to pick you out. So the fear is there definitely for EVOS Valkyrie.
Yeah, you walk up, you take an arrow to the knee.
You are no longer sieging.
That was an old game.
It was. I was like, I wonder how old that game is right now.
Like 5 years maybe.
Probably more.
The
dude.
arrow to the knee jokes.
Like maybe 6.
Oh, come on. 5 and 6. Pretty much just.
Oh, great insect in, but the USS as well as the flash out is going to get her to safety. There's only a single Leona in the back line. If they can kill her, they're going to make short work of this fight. Still kiting back, though. Eventually will fall is Kamiho. Meanwhile, joining in is Liho. She's trying to get the damage done. Hook shot for it once more with the sweep as well. The stopwatch will keep Syndra alive for a second longer, but Coraline is going to be able to get it. They all end on top of Kamiho, but they did not expect the damage from the top lane Camille as well. I'm Maokai, I'm helping, I've arrived, and I don't know what I can do here.
I am Groot.
Yeah.
It's about as useful as Baby Groot at this point. But I mean, EVOS with the no AD carry, no problem mentality, going straight ahead. Liho with the gap close is really winning them that team fight.
For
Right there,
the
helping
love
them clean up.
of God, can someone please buy Executioner's Calling? I'm visibly upset. Like, the only person with healing reduction,
Someone get grievous wounds
No,
before
yeah.
Hungry tilts off the face of the earth.
the only person with healing reduction is the Orianna.
Come on, it's 2020, guys. You want to start your year off right. You want to buy Executioner's
Yeah.
Calling.
Help. No, just gonna watch my Maokai arrives to these fights. There's no one that's gonna be able to kill him because he's healing up 24/7.
I feel like you're probably the worst type of solo queue teammate. You're like trying to backseat drive everyone. You're typing in chat, "Gee, can
I
someone
wouldn't have to if people
buy
bought the right items. You know what I'm saying? Oh, great shockwave in bullet time is available. They won't find the kill onto Lee Sin, and now onto the backline is the Leona, but she's dove a bit too far alone. Will go down for her efforts, and right now they're turning the fight across Camille with the Hextech Ultimatum, isolating a single Maokai. She's taking front point for her team, but everyone else has just backed off. Unleash Power is going to kill Sin, so overall it's a 2-for-2. Jungler and supports both did.
Yeah, that was actually a really good setup at the start from the side of EVOS Valkyrie. They had the Orianna Shockwave into the MF bullet time right in the tight jungle corridors, which is pretty much the perfect position for you to combo the Orianna and the MF ultimates. But the Leona, just what a bro, you're saying, dove too far into the backside, but she really did that just to stop MF's bullet time, did it for her team, made sure that the rest of her team stayed alive, and that paid off. I think FENIX picked up the next dragon, and I think they traded something like 2-for-2.
Yeah, it was a 2-for-2, both junglers and support's going down. Unfortunate that EVOS Valkyrie couldn't really capitalize on that fight. I feel like you mentioned, perfect window to land the shockwave in bullet time, but maybe a bit of a misstepped opportunity. But still, Baron is up. Both teams are in a bit of a lull state right now. Items are coming in. Very soon, the goal difference won't count for as much once everyone has completed their 5th, 6th item.
Yeah, and it's a bit tricky going into late game because I think neither of these teams have an entirely late game sort of composition. I mean, they're pretty geared towards the late game, but just in terms of, I mean, both sides do have some champions that are going to fall off. There's like the Lee Sin, who's not as useful, although the later the game gets, the more damage output that you're going to be expecting from champions such as Graves, for example. Oh, top side.
Speaking of Graves,
that was nice. That was so nice.
Super dead jungler going down for EVOS Valkyrie, and now they're turning their attention over onto the Leona. Having to back off though, because she has Zenith Blade up and available. We'll be using that to threaten the re-engage. This Lee Sin man has been popping off this game, just non-stop insect kicks back into the team.
Yeah, that's the sort of thing that you want to be doing, especially when you're 36 minutes in and you're a Lee Sin, because you expect Lee Sin to fall off. Pretty much late game Lee Sin is just an alt bot. You want to go in, land that dream kick onto the enemy AD carry, and that's what's going to win you the fight and then the game. So that's pretty much what Lee Sin's role is right now.
Yeah, later on in the game, like you mentioned, only really good for peeling, I guess, in the sense of using Dragon's Rage to get the Camille off your backline.
Yep, you have one job.
One job.
One job!
Press R on whoever is nearest to your carries.
One job.
A bit of a pause coming in is a technical issue, I believe, should be resolved rather relatively soon. It's been, what, 4 games so far? In the lower bracket, we are just starting out. By the end of today, at least, we will find out who is going to be our Vietnamese regional representatives for FSL Elite.
Yeah, and that's really exciting. You gotta think. I mean, we've got regional qualifiers every 2 weeks from here on out. So we're starting off strong with the Vietnamese qualifiers this weekend. Next weekend, I think, is the Thai. As in the following weekend. So 3rd week of January is the Thai qualifiers. 1st week of February is the PH server qualifiers. Why, yes, of course. Why, thank you.
Hitting all your marks.
And then I had one job too. And then 3rd week of February, it's going to be our server, Singapore, Malaysia, as well as Indonesia's qualifier. Siam, yes. I don't know why we're called Siam when it sounds like sounds like the Vietnamese server again. I mean, sure they're good, but do they deserve our spot? Come on now.
Shockwave catching a single member, and the bullet time there will finish off the jungler.
Nice.
Very low on health is the Orianna, the Syndra, and picking off 2 priority members means that this should be a Baron being taken for EVOS Valkyrie. Now the teleport coming in, Solar Flare not really doing enough. Can they finish this one off though? Oh my goodness, the Q from Liho should get them the kill, and now they're just decimating the backline. My goodness, give this Camille the MVP because she is popping off right now.
Give this team a raise. I mean, EVOS, we had some doubts coming into this game, especially watching their game in number 2, which didn't go all that well, but it feels like they just came back from that pause suddenly, I don't know, re-energized. That Orianna MF alt combo was the best we've seen yet this entire game. It just seems like the longer EVOS play, the better they get.
Don't sell yourself short though, because we did call this out early in the mid-game about how if you start Baron and you don't know who's behind the pit, you are going to get caught out by the Shockwave, by the Bullet Time, and by the Stranglethorn. So these are all threats that FENIX did not respect. They were caught up in their own hubris, thinking that Baron would have been the easy way out to close this game, and guess what? You just made it more difficult for yourselves, guys. Goal lead is 7,000 in favor of EVOS Valkyrie. A lot of the big core items have been completed on the carries for now. Only missing a single stopwatch on the Orianna, whereas I believe Guardian's Angel is going to be Kamiho's next buy.
Right now, that Baron empowered minion is doing
So
so much damage.
annoying.
Yeah, with the MFE as well, it's so hard to even get within range of him. I mean, you say annoying, but I mean, he's doing his best.
Yo, look at the support items on this Zyra. She is decked out like a mid laner.
Sorry, did you say support, Zyra? I missed the part where she went support.
She has one like trinket and everything else is just like, how do I
she
CC them with death?
she's got 122 vision score. We're gonna give her the benefit of the doubt. She's done a good job. She's pretty much 3 members of her team's vision score combined.
Unfortunate Sin fell on the top side. Meanwhile, Enchanted Crystal Arrow is going to sail wide in the mid lane. Jumping in. Shockwave is going to catch 2 members. And the Stranglethorns, the CC, the Wombo combo is coming through. All they need is the bullet time. And the bullet time they will get. And now they're finding the fight. They're looking to clean up. Foxy going down as well. And all 3 members in the mid lane will just fall like flies as the bot lane is opened up as well.
That was such a nice combination. The Orianna ultimate together with the Zyra as well to make sure they're all in position for the MF. Hourglass gonna be used here, but not just gonna delay the inevitable. Syndra gonna go down. Camille not done. Orianna not done quite yet. Wants the kill into the Maokai. Has the GA knows that that's going to get popped. But meanwhile, the rest of the team just cleaning up shop. Nexus Towers, both down. Nexus Tower going to go down next. And with that, EVOS Valkyrie take the game.
Showing that this Wombo combo, low margin for error composition, is not too difficult after all when it comes to finishing off the game. All you need to do, hit a shockwave, GG.
It does sound easy when you put it like that. Also, we're talking in picks and bans, how you don't want to take that fight in the Baron pit versus Orianna MF. What did FENIX do? They took the Baron fight versus Orianna and the MF, and what was pretty much a close game up until that point, I think just really fell apart at that moment.
Yeah, it was a bit unfortunate. Commiserations to FENIX. I believe this is their first time, I want to say, playing in the FSL Vietnam. For the second time,
yeah, and the last time they placed 3rd in the last qualifier.
You're right, yeah.
Yep.
So a bit unfortunate they will be dropping out of the tournament very early, but congratulations to EVOS Valkyrie pushing on a hit. Remember, it is still elimination matches upon elimination matches, so anytime a team drops a match, that's it, they're out. So they're fighting for a chance to move back into the winners bracket, into the winner finals. We'll see if they can do so. The next game coming up, though, is going to be a grudge match. Iris Gaming versus EVOS Valkyrie.
Yep, I mean, we were talking about it during the picks and ban phase about how EVOS Valkyrie are going, if they do beat FENIX, will have such a huge match up ahead of them, because in the last season of FSL, I mean, they lost to Iris Gaming very early on in the tournament, and then Iris Girls went on to become last season's FSL LoL Elite champion. So definitely a grudge match, definitely a lot to play for. It's going to be coming up right after this break, so you guys definitely don't want to miss it.